We are here with Wolfgang Van Halen and Valerie Bertinelli. How are you guys? You're nominated, Wolfgang, tonight for Best Rock Song.
Wolfgang Van Halen's life changed dramatically from dealing with nepo baby critics to getting a Grammy nomination.
Eddie Van Halen's untimely death. And you know, to millions of fans, he will always be a rock legend.
His father, Eddie Van Halen's death in 2020 pushed him to start a life-changing journey that would improve his physical and mental health. The musician weighed around 300 pounds when he started. He lost 50 pounds by staying committed to his health goals. The experience came from a time of deep grief and public criticism that made him stronger and stayed determined. So grab a drink, settle in, and let's unpack how one man's bold decision to be exactly who he is. The physical transformation. Wolfgang Van Halen's weight loss journey. The way you'd sit your best friend down and just spill all the tea. Because this isn't just some quick celebrity detox nonsense or another drop 10 pounds in 10 days type of story. No, this is deeper. This is one of those stories that hits a little different because you can feel the struggle behind it. It's like watching someone go through years of silently battling themselves finally take control, not just of their body, but of their entire life. Wolfgang Van Halen, son of the legendary Eddie Van Halen, already had the pressure of living in his father's massive musical shadow. That's tough enough, but on top of that, he was carrying around 250 pounds, not just in body weight, but in emotional baggage too. And let's not even sugarcoat it. He wasn't just carrying the weight physically, he was carrying years of junk food habits, emotional eating, and the chaos that comes with life on tour. Wolfgang Van Halen has always been known for his music, his famous name, and his raw talent. But now, he's turning heads for a whole new reason. And no, it's not a new single or a wild guitar solo. It's his body. The transformation has been bold, honest, and totally unfiltered. But what's really making people talk isn't just how he looks, it's why he did it. There are more questions than answers, and that's exactly why you should stay till the end. Because beneath the headlines and the social media buzz is a story about grief, strength, and taking back control of your own story. You don't want to miss how it all unfolds. And while most people might assume he just wanted to slim down to look better or fit some Hollywood standard, Wolfgang's reason for changing was so much more real, so much more human. He literally said it himself. He was a troubled eater. He wasn't just mindlessly eating. He knew something wasn't right. He couldn't control the amount or the type of food he put in his body. And when you pair that with an unpredictable rock star lifestyle, you can only imagine how quickly things spiraled out of control. But here's where it gets even more heartbreaking. Being the child of a celebrity doesn't come with a handbook, right? And unfortunately for Wolfgang, it also didn't come with protection from the public's harsh gaze. People, especially on social media, can be so cruel, and they never missed an opportunity to point out his weight. Can you imagine being a teenager, trying to carve out your own identity, and the world constantly picking at your appearance? Just imagine scrolling through your phone and seeing people you've never even met comment on your body like it's a trending topic. It's brutal. And those comments, they didn't just roll off his back. They chipped away at him. They affected his mental health in a big way. He slipped into depression, and like many people, he found comfort in food. It became a cycle, one that's so familiar to so many of us. But here's the thing that makes Wolfgang's story powerful. He didn't stay stuck in that cycle. One day, something clicked. He realized that this lifestyle, this unhealthy relationship with food and his body, wasn't just about the way he looked. It was limiting him, limiting his happiness, his health, his music, his whole life. That's when the real change began. And that right there, that's what makes all the difference. He didn't start this journey for vanity. He started it for freedom. Inside Wolfgang's new diet plan, Wolfgang Van Halen and his absolutely inspiring journey was about a real, deep transformation that started from the inside out. And no, he didn't do one of those crash diets or starve himself skinny schemes that leave you cranky and exhausted. No, Wolfgang went the real route, the kind that actually sticks. So here's the gist. Everything kicked off when Wolfgang decided to change the way he looked at food. Like, seriously, change it. He wasn't just trying to eat less, he was trying to eat smarter. No fad detoxes, no juicing your life away, and definitely no counting down the hours until you can finally eat a slice of bread. Instead, he chose sustainable, day-to-day changes that made him feel good. The kind of feel-good that doesn't fade after a week. One of the biggest shifts? Moving from processed, packaged stuff to real, whole foods. You know, the kind of food your grandma probably cooked with. Fresh veggies, lean meats, fruits, things you actually recognize when you look at them. Wolfgang said, "I started eating a lot more whole foods. And honestly, it makes so much sense. Why? When you fuel your body with the good stuff, your body responds." He wasn't scarfing down pre-packaged snacks or reaching for cookies at midnight anymore. Those cravings, they started to chill out. And get this, he didn't just wing it. He got real support and worked with a nutritionist to map out a plan that actually fit his lifestyle. Smart, right? And he didn't go extreme. He didn't eliminate all the stuff he loved. What's life without a little indulgence here and there? As he said himself, "I didn't cut out everything I loved. I just made sure it was in moderation." Now, let's talk strategy. Wolfgang shifted to a high-protein, low-carb setup, and it worked. This helped him stay full longer, which meant he wasn't always thinking about food or feeling hungry 2 seconds after eating. And it was such a game-changer for his late-night cravings. You know those random 11 p.m. fridge raids? Yes, those started fading away. Plus, this diet helped him keep his muscle mass while losing fat, which is super important, especially for someone like him who's always performing and needs all the energy he can get. Oh, and I love this part. He didn't go full vegan or anything, but he definitely made room for more plant-based foods. He started incorporating lentils, chickpeas, quinoa, brown rice, all the good, complex carbs that actually give your body nutrients and energy. His meals became these beautiful, balanced plates of wholesome, colorful food. Seriously, if you looked at his plate, it was like a Pinterest board of what health goals look like. And his go-to meals? Simple, but so smart. Breakfast might be scrambled eggs with avocado on whole grain toast. Total powerhouse combo. For lunch, he'd go for grilled chicken with greens and a light olive oil drizzle. Dinner, baked salmon, quinoa, and steamed veggies. And in between meals, he'd snack on almonds, Greek yogurt, or fresh fruit. Nothing crazy, nothing processed. Just solid, feel-good food. And here's something that really stood out to the world. His mindset. He wasn't punishing himself. He wasn't starving. He said it so clearly. It wasn't about starving myself. I learned how to enjoy food while making smarter choices. Isn't that the dream? To actually enjoy your meals while still treating your body right? And we have to give a little shout out to his fiancée, Andrea Alsop, because she really played a key role too. She dove into this lifestyle with him and started cooking up healthy recipes that actually tasted amazing. Wolfgang said she made eating healthy fun and delicious, which honestly just melts your heart. It goes to show that when someone you love is cheering you on and walking the path with you, it's just easier to stay on track. Support systems? Total game changers. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this all sounds doable at home, but what about when he's touring? Because let's be real, eating healthy on the road is tough. But Wolfgang? He didn't let that stop him. He became a meal prep king. Seriously. He would prep his meals ahead of time, so that even on the craziest tour days, he had healthy options ready to go. No excuses, no vending machine dinners. He also switched up how he ate while traveling. Instead of the usual 3 big meals a day, he went for smaller, more frequent meals. This helped keep his metabolism steady and his energy levels up, especially important when you're jumping around on stage for hours. And honestly, it worked. His energy? Through the roof. His focus? Sharper. His performances? Better than ever. And if you follow him on social media, you'll see he shares little glimpses into this new way of living. Snaps of his meals, behind-the-scenes shots of him staying hydrated, prepping food, or just making smart choices. It's not about showing off. It's about being real. He's proving that you can be busy, successful, and on the go, and still take care of your body. What I find most beautiful about Wolfgang's journey is that it's not just about shedding pounds or fitting into smaller clothes. Sure, that's part of it. But more than that, it's about self-care. It's about choosing to live better, not because someone told him to, but because he wanted to feel better. He wanted to show up for himself and his fans with energy, strength, and confidence. And that kind of transformation, that's the kind that lasts. So yeah, Wolfgang Van Halen didn't take shortcuts. He didn't fall for fads. He just got intentional. He made smart, steady changes. He focused on balance, support, and nourishment. And now he's out here thriving, one meal at a time. Isn't that the kind of glow-up we all dream of? Wolfgang Van Halen's body transformation has fans stunned and critics scrambling for explanations. But what's even more shocking than how he looks now is how he got there. Did he hire a Hollywood trainer? Is there a strict diet plan? And more importantly, why now? We're revealing his full workout routine, the truth behind the transformation, and the moment that sparked it all. Don't go anywhere, because the final piece of the puzzle, that one detail you're not expecting, it's at the very end. And it's powerful. Wolfgang's workout routine revealed. Exercise, for Wolfgang Van Halen, eventually became the other big half of his fitness story. It was like the second leg of a journey that just wouldn't be complete without it. It wasn't just some add-on either. It was just as important as what he ate, maybe even more on some days. He had this clear vision in mind. He didn't want to just look better. He wanted to feel better, move better, live better. And the way he went about it? Honestly, it was so practical and smart. It almost makes you want to grab a pair of sneakers and hit the gym yourself. He started with the basics, nothing wild or extreme. Wolfgang built his fitness plan around a solid mix of cardio and strength training. Like, isn't that the dream? Burn fat and keep your muscle? He understood from the start that it wasn't just about sweating buckets on a treadmill or lifting the heaviest dumbbells in the rack. It was about balance. His cardio journey kicked off super chill, just walks and light jogs, getting his body used to moving more regularly. And let's be real, starting slow is such an underrated flex. No pressure, no shame, just putting one foot in front of the other. And once his stamina started picking up, he didn't stop there. He leveled it up, running, cycling, swimming. He was basically becoming a full-on cardio king. What's even cooler? He started seeing real changes, not just in how he looked, but in how he felt. His energy went through the roof, and his endurance during live shows, it has seriously improved. I mean, can you imagine playing your heart out on stage and still having the stamina to go all night? That's what this new cardio base did for him. But wait, here's the most Wolfgang twist. He used drumming as part of his workout. Isn't that genius? Like, who even thinks of that? Music and movement have always been connected for me, he said once, and you can totally feel that. Drumming, for him, was more than music. It was this sneaky form of cardio. He was burning calories without even realizing it. And honestly, isn't that the best kind of workout? The kind that doesn't feel like a workout? Now, when it came to building muscle, he wasn't playing around. Wolfgang set up this structured strength training routine, hitting the weights 4 to 5 times a week.
At the age of 32, Wolfgang undertook a weight loss journey that has inspired many. Through his dedication and disciplined approach, he managed to shed pounds.
He stuck to compound movements, squats, deadlifts, bench presses, overhead presses, rows. Nothing fancy, just the good old foundational stuff that works. These are the kind of exercises that target multiple muscle groups at once, so they're super efficient. And for someone constantly on the move with a busy music career, efficiency is everything. He didn't just build show muscles, he built real, functional strength that helped him feel more powerful on stage and off. And then came yoga. Yep, he added yoga to the mix too. Can you believe it? The man went from heavy lifting and cardio to downward dogs and deep breathing, but he swore by it. Yoga helped me clear my mind, and it was a great way to relax after a long day, he shared. And isn't that such a vibe? It wasn't just about looking good in the mirror anymore. It was about feeling good, inside and out. Yoga gave him flexibility, better balance, and this calm mental space that balanced out the chaos of touring, rehearsals, and life in general. Now, the real challenge? Fitting all this into his hectic musician schedule. Like, how do you even find time to work out when you're bouncing from city to city and living out of a suitcase? Wolfgang admitted it wasn't easy. I had to make time for it, he said. And I had to find something I enjoyed. That part right there, that's the heart of it. He didn't force himself into workouts he hated. He found what worked for him. Isn't that what we're all trying to do, really? And you know what? The way he approached fitness was exactly how he approached music. With discipline. The same dedication he gave to rehearsing for a show or recording an album, he brought into the gym. You have to show up every day, even if you're tired or don't feel like it, he said. That's the key to long-term success. Like, isn't that so true, though? That's the kind of grit that really gets you somewhere, whether it's in your career or your personal goals. At first, he kept things super practical, no fancy equipment or hardcore gym sessions. Running became his go-to because it was easy to squeeze in, even while on tour. Running was something I could do consistently, and it didn't require a gym membership or a lot of equipment, he explained. And honestly, that's such a good tip for anyone who travels a lot or just can't make it to a gym regularly. Keep it simple. Just move. And to keep it all exciting, he switched things up regularly. No one wants to do the exact same workout every day, right? That's how people burn out. Wolfgang said changing his workouts kept me excited and engaged. Smart move. It kept him from hitting a plateau physically, and it kept him mentally in the game. Later on, when time got tighter, he added circuit training into his routine, short, intense bursts of exercise that didn't require a lot of time, but gave him maximum results. But the thing that really stood out? The way he stayed realistic. He never tried to become a bodybuilder or run ultra-marathons. His goals weren't extreme, they were real. It's not about lifting the heaviest weights or running the fastest mile. It's about showing up and doing your best, he said. And that right there, that's the kind of mindset that actually sticks. That's how you keep going, even when life gets messy or exhausting or unpredictable. In the end, exercise became more than just a task for Wolfgang. It became this deeply personal form of self-care, a way to ground himself, a way to stay strong, physically and mentally. And when you think about everything else he was juggling, the fame, the legacy of his last name, the music, the expectations, it's honestly kind of beautiful that he carved out this space just for him. Because, at the end of the day, isn't that what we're all trying to do? Just find something that makes us feel whole again? Wolfgang found that in movement, in every run, every lift, every drum beat, and every deep breath on a yoga mat. And honestly, good for him. Mental health benefits of Wolfgang's transformation. You know, when people talk about Wolfgang Van Halen's transformation, the first thing they point out is his physical change. Like, yeah, sure, he lost a noticeable amount of weight, and fans immediately picked up on that. The slimmer look, the more defined features, the energy on stage. It was all right there in plain sight. But honestly, that's just the surface. What most people don't realize is that the physical stuff was just the beginning. The real shift, the one that changed everything from how he carries himself on stage to how he feels when he looks in the mirror, happened inside. And isn't that always the case with real change? The stuff no one sees is usually the stuff that matters the most. Wolfgang didn't just drop pounds, he dropped years of self-doubt, grief, and the heavy emotional weight that came from constantly being in the shadow of his iconic dad.
This is the first guitar of my dad's that he gave me. And a lot of Van Halen fans will know that in the Panama video, he plays.
I mean, imagine being Eddie Van Halen's son. That's not a name you casually carry around. The pressure, the comparisons, the expectations, how could that not weigh on someone? For a long time, it did. Performing used to be something Wolfgang had a complicated relationship with. He was talented, sure, but there was always that feeling of being watched too closely, judged too harshly. But as he started taking care of himself, really taking care of himself, from the gym to what was going on in his head, he started to blossom. His confidence on stage shot through the roof. Fans at his mammoth WVH shows weren't just seeing a man who looked healthier. They were seeing someone who felt like he belonged up there, front and center, with no apologies. And it wasn't just a better stage presence. This was deeper. He said it himself. I feel more like myself now than I have in years. That right there, that's everything. Because looking good is one thing, but feeling like yourself? That's a different level of peace. His fans weren't just seeing a glow-up, they were witnessing someone stepping fully into their own skin for the first time in a long time. But let's be real. It wasn't all gym sessions and motivational quotes. This whole journey started from a place of deep, crushing loss. When Wolfgang lost his father in 2020, it rocked him to his core. I mean, who wouldn't be devastated? Losing a parent is earth-shattering, but losing one who was also your idol, your musical hero, your everything? That's a grief that doesn't follow any tidy timeline. He was honest about it too. Some days are better than others, he told Carson Daly. It doesn't seem like the pain is ever really gonna go away. That's the kind of honesty that hits you right in the chest. But instead of falling apart completely, and he admits he wanted to, Wolfgang found strength in the very person he lost. He used his dad's memory as fuel. He said, if I just gave up and crawled in a hole, I know he'd be really pissed off at me. Can you imagine that? Carrying your grief and your motivation in the same breath? That kind of emotional balancing act is no small feat. It takes strength. And instead of letting the pain define him, he started showing up for himself. Regular workouts, healthier eating, better routines, things that gave him structure when everything else felt like it was spinning out of control. And maybe the most beautiful thing in all of this? He didn't just start showing up physically. He started showing up emotionally too, for himself. Because for years, Wolfgang was his own biggest bully. The things people said online, the body shaming, the constant criticism, it all stuck. And he believed it. He internalized it. Can you blame him? That kind of negativity doesn't just bounce off. It seeps in, especially when you're already feeling unsure of yourself. But once he started prioritizing his health, something else shifted. He began being kinder to himself. Slowly, at first, he celebrated small wins instead of obsessing over what still needed fixing. He stopped tearing himself apart over every little mistake. He said, "Before I started this journey, I wasn't kind to myself." That line just lingers, doesn't it? Because so many of us can relate. Being unkind to ourselves becomes a habit. But he broke it. Day by day, he traded self-criticism for self-compassion. And that's not easy. That takes work. He even said, "It wasn't just about what I ate or how much I worked out. It was about how I saw myself." That hits deep, because once you start changing the way you see yourself, everything else falls into place. His journey wasn't about reaching some ideal version of a body. It was about creating a version of himself that he could live with. No, scratch that. A version he could thrive with. And the more he leaned into this healthier mindset, the more his life reflected it. His music evolved. His performances got tighter, more electric. His energy was just different, more present, more alive. You could feel it. And fans did. They didn't just hear it in the music. They saw it in his posture, his smile, the way he held the mic with purpose. It was like he wasn't just playing music anymore. He was finally owning it. What's so special about Wolfgang's story is that it reminds us that transformation isn't just about what the mirror shows. Real transformation happens in those quiet, private moments. When you choose to get out of bed even though you're heartbroken, when you decide to love yourself even though the world tells you you shouldn't, when you step into the spotlight knowing full well who you are, flaws and all. That's what Wolfgang did. That's the version of his story we should be talking about more. Because yeah, his weight loss is impressive. But the real flex? It's the strength he found in grief, the kindness he built out of pain, and the peace he created by finally accepting himself. Wolfgang Van Halen isn't just healthier, he's happier, braver, and more himself than he's ever been. And really, isn't that what we all want at the end of the day? Wolfgang Van Halen was reclaiming his life, his health, and his confidence. And it wasn't some solo mission either. His family was right there with him, cheering him on when the world got cruel. So how did he do it? What kept him going when things got tough? And what does this transformation say about the real Wolfgang? Stick around, because by the time we get to the final moments of this video, you'll realize this isn't a story about body image. It's a story about courage. How family supported his journey. Without his family, especially his mom, Valerie Bertinelli, he might not have made it through in the same way. I mean, who really does anything meaningful alone, right? Valerie, yes, that Valerie, the actress we've all grown up watching, wasn't just a cheerleader in the background. She was front and center in her son's healing, both physically and emotionally. And let's not forget, this woman had already been through her own very public journey with weight loss. You probably remember when she lost 40 pounds and had the world dissecting every single pound of it like they were food critics with nothing better to do. So when Wolfgang started his own path, she didn't just give him generic pep talks. She gave him lived experience, the kind that really sticks. She knew what it meant to try and better yourself while the whole world watches and judges from the sidelines. Imagine having someone who gets it like that. Not just because she's your mom, but because she's walked that same exact tightrope. And it wasn't just the advice, though I'm sure she had plenty of that. It was the emotional steadiness she brought to his life, especially when everything else felt chaotic. Wolfgang has said that his childhood felt normal. Valerie didn't let fame raise her son. She did that herself. No crazy celebrity nonsense. No over-the-top Hollywood childhood. Just grounding, stability, and a home that didn't revolve around flashing cameras. That kind of upbringing? It's rare, and it laid the foundation for the man Wolfgang would become. Quietly strong, emotionally aware, and willing to do the hard inner work when the time came. But oh, let's talk about Eddie, his dad. That one still stings, doesn't it? Losing a parent is never easy, but when that parent is someone you shared the stage with, looked up to musically and personally, and had to watch suffer through something as brutal as cancer, it changes you. It marks you. And for Wolfgang, watching his father go through that taught him something that no doctor, no health app, no self-help book could. That life is incredibly fragile. That if you don't take care of yourself, it can slip right through your fingers before you even realize it's leaving. He's admitted how grief nearly swallowed him whole. And honestly, who could blame him? How do you wake up every day and not feel that emptiness when the person you loved and admired the most is no longer there to pick up the phone or cheer you on from the sidelines? But here's where it gets powerful. Wolfgang didn't just sit in that grief. He used it. He used it. He turned it into fuel. He said, if I just gave up and stopped and crawled in a hole, which I feel like doing every day, I know he'd be really pissed off at me. And doesn't that just say everything about the kind of bond they had? He didn't want to disappoint his dad, even in death.
It just seems like he never got a break. I was very happy I was able to spend every second with him that I could.
So instead of folding under the weight of that loss, he stood up. He kept going. Not just for himself, but for his father. For the legacy. Because, yes, healing is possible. Moving forward is necessary. But some losses live with us forever. And Wolfgang? He's just learning how to carry it with grace. With this, we have come to the end of this video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do well to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. To enjoy more thrilling stories, click now on the following video that pops up on your screen.